Hey, welcome in everybody. It's James again. This time we're doing the top 10 most anticipated movies for 2023. Now, this list is completely subjective and there's no particular order, just the top 10. So the first one's AntMan and the Wasp, Quantumania. This movie is going to be a build-up of the quantum realm and bring out the new villain, Kang the Conqueror. Man, Joseph Majors has been busy. He's doing this movie, he's also doing Creed 3, and he's done Devotion. Big props to him for finding a way to get all these movies out in such short time. So finally, we're going to get a real scope of how far the MCU is really going to be. The implications of what we learned in the Loki show, and how the movie will build up Phase 5. I just hope Marvel has learned to stay away from this woke ideology and concentrate on just making good movies for people like me that grew up on Marvel Comics. Up next is Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan reprises his role as Adonis Creed. He is living a great life, but when a childhood friend returns, he will have to face off with him to settle a score. It's crazy to think that this is a third installment in Creed. I really like how these boxing movies are done. All the way back from obviously Rocky, which are the classics, to now this one. And really what comes out of all these movies are a lot of inspirational things. Like fighting and getting up after you even lost a fight. I'm just worried that I want to see how good this movie's going to be. Especially with Stallone being absent and not having his touch on this movie. Up next is Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So the story continues with Billy Batson, who becomes Shazam when he shouts out the words. The first Shazam movie was great. I thought it was really funny. The action was great. And how they went about it and the plot was really, really good. I just don't like how the rest of the kids turned into Shazam. I know there's comics that bring that out. But this was like his origin story and now they're involved. I just hope that the sequel's not a failure, since DC has had a bad track of bringing out sequels. Unfortunately, now the way that DC is going also, there cannot be a buildup of Shazam versus Black Adam versus Superman, which I would have thought if this movie did great, they had the potential to do something like that. But we'll see where it goes from here. I'm still cheering for this movie to be good. And maybe they could do some fan service with this movie. Up next is John Wick Chapter 4. For me, this is the most anticipated movie of 2023. It's pretty difficult to continue the story of John Wick, I think. But all the movies have been good, and I just hope that they continue to be that good. I just start wondering what type of rabbit hole can they go down as far as this movie goes, or this universe, let's say, goes. Now, the premise of the movie, my understanding is that he's going to try to defeat the High Table. And now they're adding Donnie Yen in the mix. I could just imagine that the action sequences in this movie are going to be really crazy. What I'm most interested in is John Wick going to triumph in this movie, or will there be a Chapter 5? Next one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this movie is going to take place after Thor Love and Thunder. I would believe the focus of the movie is going to be finding Gamora after Endgame. I'm just interested to know the direction that this movie will be going, because now Dave Bautista is not going to sign up for any further movies as Drax. The main thing here that I'm very interested in is that Adam Warlock is going to appear in the movie, and also the High Evolutionary. If you don't know who those guys are, just know that Adam Warlock once in the comics wielded the Infinity Gauntlet, and the High Evolutionary was the one that created Rocket. Next one is Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. So Miles Morales returns for this next movie. Now it looks like Miles will have to be transported to the multiverse. to defeat some new foe. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse was one of the best Spider-Man movies ever for me. But now you're getting an extra dynamic where Miles Morales is also going to be facing other Spider-Man, and one of the most iconic Spider-Mans that he's going to be probably facing off against or teaming up with, whichever way the movie goes, is Spider-Man 2099. I just hope the movie shows that it has high stakes and doesn't turn into like what Marvel Films has turned into, is where, yeah, there's superheroes, but the villains aren't really too crazy, or it doesn't look like the stakes are really high and people are gonna die. Next one is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is the 7th movie in the long-running series. Listen, movies with Tom Cruise and crazy stunts and action scenes, sign me up all the time. That's really down my alley. I really love action movies. That's why I'm really giddy to get to see this one. Right now there are 3 actors that are must watch, and I think Tom Cruise is one on this list. It almost seems like anything that he's touching is turning to gold, especially after what happened with Top Gun Maverick. Also, you got to remember, this is part 1 of a 2-part movie, so I can only imagine that the ending in this movie is going to be crazy. How what's really going to happen, and what are going to be the dynamics at the end of this first movie. Up next, Kraven the Hunter. For those that don't know, Craven is a hunter that is a villain in the Spider-Man lore and Spider-Man comics. Craven is going to be played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. You guys might know him as Quicksilver in the MCU, but now he's turning on over to the Sony production and becoming Kraven the Hunter. I'm just worried because, if the MCU and they start mixing the universes, where is this going to fall in line? Now, obviously, this is being set along with Morbius and Venom in the universe. What my understanding about this movie is that he's going to be hunting something. I just hope that this movie, they do him justice, because he's a really, really good comic book villain and one of Spider-Man's biggest enemies. And I just hope that they build this up so then in a future movie you could have Craven hunt Spider-Man. Whichever way they go with this movie, I'm super hyped about this movie. Up next, and I think this is probably on nobody's list, is Ghostbusters Afterlife number 2. It's an untitled movie right now, but that's what I'm going with. That's what I've seen, that it's Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. Now, after the events that took place in Oklahoma, the Ghostbusters team returns where it all started. They're going back to New York City. Now, I found the first one really entertaining, and I'm thinking, wow, they're bringing back a dynamic to return to New York. Can they bring back the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? I hope so. I hope they have something like that come back. I think it'd be really entertaining, and who they have casted out in the first movie coming back for the second one, I thought it was a good casting. Up next, Aquaman, The Last Kingdom. Jason Momoa is coming back as Aquaman before the new changes to DC happens. I just hope that this movie is as successful as the first one. I just don't know what direction they're really going to go, because I would like to see if they go forward that they do bring Jason Momoa back. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen in this movie, who's going to be the new villains for him, and then we'll see what happens at the end of this movie, and then what will happen in the further future when DC is finally rebooted. As you can see, the movies that I'm mostly anticipated for are fantasy movies, like comic book heroes. These are the types of things that I grew up on, so I kind of find this stuff nostalgic. That's why I like it, along with that Ghostbusters. This is stuff that I grew up on. So guys, don't let me be the only one saying what I'm most anticipated for. What are you guys interested in? Comment, let me know what you guys want to see. Maybe there's a movie that's not on my list that you guys are interested in. Please let me know. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. God bless.